At 22, I excited the scientific world with a new theory on how cells work.
Richard H. Ebright and his college roommate published their theory in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It was the first time college students had ever been published in this prestigious journal. Sports, that would be like making the big leagues at 15 and hitting a home run on your first time at bat. For Richard Ebright, this was just the first in a long string of achievements.
It all started with butterflies.
An only child, Ebright grew up north of Reading, Pennsylvania. There wasn't much he could do there. He couldn't play football or baseball with a team of one.
But there was one thing I could do: collect things. So I did, and did I ever?
Beginning in kindergarten, Ebright collected butterflies with the same determination that marked all his activities. He also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He became an eager astronomer too, sometimes stargazing all night. From the first, he had a driving curiosity and a bright mind. His mother encouraged his interest in learning. She took him on trips and bought him telescopes, microscopes, cameras, and mounting materials.
I was his only companion until he started school. After that, I would bring home friends for him. But at night, we just did things together.
Richie was my whole life after his father died when he was in 3rd grade. If he didn't have things to do, I found learning work for him. He liked it. He wanted to learn.
They spent almost every evening at the dining room table learning together. He earned top grades in school.
By 2nd grade, I had collected all 25 species of butterflies found around my hometown. That probably would have been the end of my butterfly collecting. But then my mother got me a children's book called The Travels of Monarch X. That book told how monarch butterflies migrate to Central America and open the world of science to the eager young collectors.
At the end of the book, readers were invited to help study butterfly migrations by tagging them for Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart of the University of Toronto.
The butterfly collecting season around Reading lasts 6 weeks in late summer. Chasing them one by one wasn't enough, so I began raising a flock of butterflies in my basement, from egg to caterpillar to pupa to adults. For several years, my basement was home to thousands of monarch butterfly in different stages of development. Eventually, I began to lose interest in tagging. It's tedious and there's not much feedback. In all the time I did it, only 2 butterflies I tagged were recaptured, and they were not more than 75 miles away. In 7th grade, I entered a county science fair and lost. It was a sad feeling to sit there while everybody else won something. My entry was just slides of frog tissues under a microscope. I realized the winners had done real experiments, not simply make a neat display. For next year's fair, I knew I had to do a real experiment. The subject I knew most about was insects. Those suggestions kept me busy through high school and led to many prize-winning projects.
For my 8th grade project, I tried to find the cause of a viral disease that kills nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. I thought it might be carried by a beetle.
I tried raising caterpillars in the presence of beetles. I didn't get any real results, but I went ahead and showed that I had tried the experiment. This time I won.
The next year, his science fair project was testing the theory that viceroy butterflies copy monarchs. The theory was that viceroys look like monarchs because monarchs don't taste good to birds. Viceroys, on the other hand, do taste good to birds. So the more they look like monarchs, the less likely they are to become a bird's dinner. Ebright's project was to see whether, in fact, birds would eat monarchs. He found that a starling would not eat ordinary bird food. It would eat all the monarchs it could get. Ebright said later research by other people showed that viceroys probably do copy the monarch. This project was placed first in the zoology division and 3rd overall in the county science fair. In his 2nd year in high school, Richard Ebright began the research that led to his discovery of an unknown insect hormone. Indirectly, it also led to his new theory on the life of cells. The question he tried to answer was simple. What is the purpose of the 12 tiny gold spots on a monarch pupa? Everyone assumed the spots were just ornamental, but Dr. Urquhart didn't believe it. To find the answer, Ebright and another excellent science student first had to build a device that showed that the spots were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development. This project won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. As a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. That year his project won first place at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratory during the summer. In his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. That project won first place for zoology at the International Fair. He spent the summer after graduation doing further work at the Army Laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. The following summer, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout, "Eureka!" or even, "I've got it!" But he believed that, along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles: how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. Thus, DNA is the blueprint for life.
Ebright and his college roommate, James R. Wong, worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. Together, they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Surprising no one who knew him, Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of 1,510. Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. There he began doing experiments to test his theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests. Ebright also became a champion debater and public speaker and a good canoeist and all-around outdoors person. He is also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. Richard Ebright was a straight A student in high school. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and Model United Nations clubs. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. Weherer, his social studies teacher and advisor to both clubs. Mr. Weherer was the perfect person for him. He opened Ebright's mind to new ideas. He would always give that extra effort. What pleased Mr. Weherer here was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research besides doing all his research with butterflies and his other interests. Mr. Weherer said that Richard wasn't interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. And that is one of the ingredients in the making of a scientist. Start with a first-rate mind, add curiosity, and mix in the will to win for the right reasons. Ebright has these qualities. From the time the book, The Travels of Monarch X, opened the world of science to him, Richard Ebright has never lost his scientific curiosity.